Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How
Good
are
morning.
you? Thank you so
I'm
much for joining.
no,
Before,
no need. Actually, I'm
before
switching on
that,
my camera. I don't know how it's not working. Camera is not switching on.
there may be some problem with your device, ma'am.
Maybe let me log out and I will rejoin again.
हाँ ठीक है, no issue. Hello, sir, Tuteja sir, Dheeraj ji, thank you so much.
Ji, good morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah,
Good morning,
good
sir.
morning.
Good morning, Shruti, Ritika, Simran. Thank you so much. I'm a bit nervous, so you people are there to bail me out.
Ma'am, no need to be nervous. It would be good.
It generally happens with me before like any program. I just tend to get that particular nerves. So once it's over, everything will be fine.
Right.
And what about Ria and Muskan?
Ma'am, Riya has
Yeah,
a
so I know
marriage at
this
a.
question.
Uh,
Yeah, and Muskan?
Ma'am, Muskan did not update us. So,
Okay. Hello. Welcome, ma'am. Tarannum Raza, ma'am. Welcome. Am I audible to you, ma'am?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Thank you, thank you.
So we are waiting for the sir to join. He will join around 2 and then we will begin the program.
Right.
And
So,
rest assured that you can easily leave after finishing your talk. That is around 250 to 55.
yeah,
If you
around.
want to stay, so that will be, if you want to stay beyond that, so we will feel privileged.
You know, ma'am, it's always a pleasure to interact with students. Always a
Yeah,
pleasure. And the youngsters, they're so dynamic, they're so full of energy and so many questions, though. So
yeah,
I love to interact with them. So
yeah,
let's,
yeah. So we will be happy to have you, okay, after finishing your session also.
ma'am, I will need to share my PPT also. So after some time, you may make me their co-host also.
Actually, no, this is the Google link. So you feel free to make presentation.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody can that is the only shortcoming of this particular platform. Anyone can present in between.
So can I
So
start
Dheeraj sir will guide you. Dheeraj ji,
Yes,
Tuteja
ma'am.
sir. Dheeraj ji, she wants to make a presentation. Ma'am wants to make a
So
presentation.
can I present now?
Yes.
You can share a screen. I
Yeah,
think you have seen. Yeah, I have shared with you minute to minute program also.
all right.
So you will come like little bit late in the sense that 2:15 around.
Fine.
Your turn will come.
Okay.
Welcome, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Happening, sir.
Tarannum
Good
ma'am,
afternoon, everyone.
Tarannum ma'am, you can share the screen, but since we are going live on the YouTube, so if you wish, you can practice it now.
Okay, let's do that now.
Yeah.
So is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
All right, now let me try making it full screen and we'll see if you can see the next, when I change the slides.
Okay.
So can you see the next one?
No.
No. Okay. So that is the issue with this forum. So what I'll do is
No, you first make it full slideshow. First convert it into F5 slideshow, and then you can do the first, second, third, fourth slide.
we can let it be like this then.
Share the screen. Share the screen.
Yeah, I'll share it again. Just a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, now make it slideshow. Slideshow. There is one button. This button. This button is slideshow. Click that. Click this button.
Yeah, I've clicked slideshow.
From beginning, just do it from beginning.
All right.
Click this button.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now let me see if you can see the second one.
No.
No,
Yeah.
ma'am. First press from beginning. The button from beginning.
Yeah, I did that, sir.
Oh, it
So you can share your PPT with us, in a sense, in the chat box, and Dheeraj sir will take care of it, or one of the volunteer.
Yeah, we can take care.
Or I sent it to Gurneet.
Yeah.
If that is fine. Gurneet.
Yeah. So Gurpreet Singh Tuteja sir.
Yeah. You can send it to dksing@zh.du.ac.in.
One minute, sir. Or what about this format? Is it fine with this?
It is fine. If you can handle it, is fine.
Yeah, I can handle it. Let's let it be here then.
It's fine. You can handle it. First, ma'am, you when you start your presentation, just press F5 button so that it is full screen on your screen.
Yeah.
Right. So I've.
Is this visible?
Yeah, full screen. This is.
No, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am, it is visible.
It is.
PPT. Tarannu ma'am, PPT is visible. Can you please do the slideshow in this?
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what I'm doing.
this is my PPT. Angela,
Yeah. Angela ma'am, it is visible. You
Now
Okay,
the second slide is visible.
Next
No,
slide
second
is
slide is not visible.
Second slide is still not visible.
No.
So let it be. We'll do it the other way. I faced this problem earlier also.
Okay, otherwise you feel free to share it, and we will not do any kind of privacy policy breaching. That is rest assured. Okay, nobody is going to share it with anyone else.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
So just rest assured, you can share that with Dheeraj sir. You can share it with us in the chat box also.
Yeah.
So ma'am, it's all up to you. Okay.
Hina, can I say something?
Shared my PPT.
Yeah, Sangeeta di.
Hina, this problem comes. I hope if they present a window instead of the entire full screen.
No, we're presenting a window only.
It is not coming. So then you try with the entire full screen. Because when you do the presentation, there are three options. Because this is a problem which comes in the Google Meet. So there are three options. Either try a tab or the full screen. And in that full screen, open your PPT. So you would be able to do it. Try it.
Yeah. Entire screen, right?
Yes. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, but in the entire screen, the PPT doesn't come.
No, you open
it. First you open the PPT.
Yeah, it's open. It's already open. Okay.
So you can open it from your Google.
Ma'am, minimize your this Google Meet, then the screen will pop up.
Okay, let me see. नहीं सर, मैं अभी मेल कर देती हूँ आपको.
आप मेल कर दीजिए, प्लीज. आप लिखिए.
हाँ. लिखिए.
धीरज.
DH.
नहीं, not Dheeraj. DK Singh.
Singh SINGH.
Yeah. @zh.du.ac.in.
All right. At the Z for zebra.
Yeah. H for. धीरज.
Yes, sir.
मैं इस पे भिजवा रहा हूँ DK Singh @zh.du.ac.in.
.du.ac.in.
ठीक है.
Yeah, du.ac.zh.du.ac.in.
Right. So I'm just sending it there. I'll send it there. or otherwise we'll carry on the way I was doing
No,
it.
it's fine. It will take hardly 1 minute. Please do.
All right, sir, I'll do that.
So I'm waiting to begin. Once things are settled down, then only I can.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Holna Madhu. Actually, Hina ma'am, where to send the PPT?
Ma'am, please send it to DK Singh
Yes.
@zh.du.ac.in.
Yes, sir, doing that.
Yeah.
Marked it to Gurneet also. Right, Gurneet?
Pardon, ma'am? You have marked the mail to me?
Sent it to you too, to both of you, to DK Singh also and to you too.
Okay, ma'am.
Already there. Yes? You got it?
Ma'am, I have received the same.
All right. So I'm ready when you are ready.
Gurmeet sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Gurmeet sir, Angela Kulsey this side. Can you please share your email ID again?
Hello.
Pardon, ma'am?
Can you please share your email ID again?
Yes, ma'am. Should I?
Ma'am, not to him. Gurpreet Singh Tuteja, sir, I have shared his number with you.
Sorry.
I have shared his number with you, ma'am.
Okay.
And you can coordinate with him.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
with the permission of chair.
So this can come full screen?
It is visible now.
Yeah, but it is in the same form as when I was presenting.
Okay.
Fine with me.
So can you please show the third slide where there is more content?
Show the second one. Show the second one, third one.
So I think it is still okay. The second one won't be visible to the students in this format if we don't enlarge it or go for the slideshow. Yeah, I think it is a better visibility now.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt. You can go on the slideshow section, and therein you can start from current slideshow. It's on the left from beginning where it's written now. I think then it's this way.
That's better. Now it is fine. Okay.
Now it is fine.
Thank you, Shruti.
It's okay, ma'am.
Sir, shuru kare?
Now
Yes.
it is fine, sir.
Sir, with the permission of the chair, please.
हाँ प्लीज सर हाँ आप प्लीज अगर अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर लें आप लोग तो वी कैन अवॉइड द डिस्टर्बेंस आल्सो सॉरी म्यूट कर लें नॉट अनम्यूट म्यूट कर लें प्लीज ओके सो नमस्कार गुड आफ्टरनून On behalf of the Office of Dean Students Welfare, University of Delhi, I take upon the humble duty of welcoming Professor Pankaj Arora, Dean Students Welfare, as the chief guest of our event on orientation cum counseling session. I welcome our I welcome our other guest speakers, Mrs. Tarannum Naseem Raja, Senior Knowledge Expert from Triumphant Institute of Management, and Dr. Angela Kulsey from Faculty of Management Studies for their humble consent to equip students with much required skills of global market, and that is CV making and time management. I also take this opportunity to welcome Professor G.S. Tuteja, Joint Dean, Students Welfare, Dr. Sangeeta Gadre, Deputy Dean, Students Welfare, and Dr. Hemant Verma, Deputy Dean, Culture Council. I welcome dignitaries from our esteemed university, faculty members from different colleges, departments, and centers, along with welcoming our wonderful and enthusiastic students who are connected with us through Google and YouTube channel. Your virtual participation is manifestation as well as reflection of 3 mantras of life, known as 3 C's. And these 3 C's are curiosity, commitment, and care. And for me, these mantras are indeed valuable as it helps us in remaining a conscious, responsible, and aware global citizens who are determined to create a niche in society. The purpose of organizing this orientation cum counseling session is mainly to enhance the skills of the undergraduate and postgraduate students of our esteemed university. To some extent, it is a precursor for 3-day Job Mela, which we are organizing from Thursday, that is 7th April to Saturday, 9th April 2022. And with immense pleasure, I must share that the Job Mela will be the first Mela in the illustrious history of our esteemed university. So today's session will mainly cover 2 important skills, that is CV writing and time management. And I'm sure after virtually watching and participating in this orientation cum counseling session, the students will find it not only interesting, but also useful for participating in the Job Mela. So having outlined the objective, now it is time for me to invite our chief guest. But before, I request Professor Pankaj Arora sir to formally announce the inauguration of the orientation cum counseling session. Let me have the honor to formally introduce him. Professor Arora is Dean Students Welfare and Director Institute of Lifelong Learning, University of Delhi. Sir is primarily associated with the Department of Education, which is popularly known as CIE. And this association is for around 25 years. Sir is the member of National Focus Group on Gender Education NCRT, University Coordinator for Open House Discussion on New Education Policy 2020, Chairperson cum convener of Thematic Committee on Institutional Social Responsibility, which is basically constituted for celebrating the 100 years of the University of Delhi. Sir is the member of UGC Expert Group for Development of Education Framework for Global Citizenship on Higher Education Institutions. Sir is the member again of UGC Expert Committee to formulate the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. He is a chairperson, Delhi University Digital Infrastructure Support for Colleges and Departments, along with heading many illustrious academic forums. So the brief bio note which sir has shared with me, that is again of 3 pages, and it is not possible for me to
Not required. Not required.
So I'm just cutting it short.
Yes.
And along with describing so many portfolios sir is holding, I must say that he has authored numerous articles and presented research papers in various national and international conferences. Sir is an acclaimed columnist, and Sir has authored plus edited large number of books, not only in Hindi and English, but also in Gujarati. And Sir has led various major and minor research projects funded by UGC, ICSSR, and University of Delhi. And most recently, he has been chosen for National Education Day Award, that is Sikshak Kalyan Samagra ALTTC, BSNL New Delhi. That is by BSNL New Delhi. So once again, I welcome you, sir, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to request you to announce the formal opening cum inauguration of this spectacular orientation cum counseling session. So over to you, Professor Pankaj Arora, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really delighted to see the enthusiasm of organizing committee of Job Mela, which has taken up its responsibility from the scratch and have planned to organize this orientation cum counseling session today for the benefit of students of University of Delhi, helping them to prepare their curriculum vitae as well as orienting them about time management skills. I'm sure these two important aspects for any professional beginning would be of great help to our undergraduate students who would be participating in Job Mela for internship or for job opportunities. So I formally declare this orientation and counseling session open, and let's proceed on this towards a grand success by through YouTube channel reaching out thousands and thousands of students of University of Delhi, because I know multiple students are looking forward to the event for the day, and even I have been receiving multiple calls seeking clarifications on this organization. My sincere thanks and congratulations to Professor Tuteja, who is Joint Dean Students Welfare and who is responsible for this Job Mela organization and planning as a part of Dean Students Welfare Office. Dr. Hina Singh, who is also in charge of campus placement cell, is the leading person, is the key person in the entire event. My compliments and congratulations to Dr. Hina Singh, Dr. Hemant Verma, Deputy Dean Students Welfare, Dr. Sangeeta Gadre. All the team members at Dean Students Welfare are working for around last 2 months to make Job Mela a grand success. And today's event is towards that grand event. Like today we are initiating with this orientation and counseling session for students. I also compliment student volunteers who are tirelessly working day and night, because I keep looking at their messages, their posters, their guidelines, they're seeking clarifications. I really appreciate Shruti, Ritika, Muskan, Ria, Dheeraj, Gurneet, Simran, and many of their colleagues. Any event at the educational institution can succeed with the young energy of young students. So my compliments and congratulations to student volunteers for starting up a step towards grand success of Job Mela. My sincere thanks to the experts for the day, Dr. Angela Kulsey, who is from Faculty of Management Studies and has kindly consented to be part of this orientation counseling session and helping our students, of course, her students, our students, University of Delhi students, to have competencies and skills on time management. My sincere thanks to Ms. Tarannum Raza, also senior knowledge expert, who consented, who is available with us today and has taken the lead in helping our students to make a professional CV. How to present your CV, how can you document your own accomplishments, whether these are in the domain of academic career or in the domain of co-curricular activities and professional outlook in that context. So I look forward to a grand sessions by Dr. Angela Kulsey as well as Mr. Annum Raza. With this, I think I should not be giving a longer introduction and uh, opening of this orientation cum counseling session. My grand success, my sincere wishes for grand success of this Job Mela and today's session on time management and CV writing. Over to you, Dr. Hina. We can take it forward, and I formally declare it open and looking forward to students' participation, their questions through chat box and through YouTube channels. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with your words of wisdom, and thank you so much for your congratulatory notes. We are indeed feeling very much motivated, and we are sure that we will organize it in a more streamlined and successful manner, the 3-day job fair, because this session is the precursor of the Job Mela. So having said that, now I request Shruti Goyal to carry on the proceedings further.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, sir, for motivating us with all the kind words and your wishes. So, it also gives me an immense pleasure to welcome our first esteemed guest for the day, Miss Tarannum Naseem Raza. She is a senior knowledge expert. She is an engineer in electronics and telecommunications, plus an MBA. With her logical abilities due to her technical background and her excellent command over the English language, coupled with a vast experience of 20 plus years, she is a much sought after faculty. In her 13 plus years with time, she has mentored thousands of students and guided them to achieve their goals. She has a vast knowledge of various courses and the dynamic job scenario. She is a professional career counselor. I am beyond honored and delighted to have you with us, ma'am. We are also looking forward to an enlightening and interactive session with loads of inputs and ideas. I welcome you, ma'am, and we await your valuable insights on CV making and so that our students could better present themselves in the professional world. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti, for the warm welcome. And it's a pleasure to be in the company of such esteemed educators and mentors and students, all of you out there. Yes, my very warm welcome to all of you too. And you are so privileged, yes, that you're getting such a great opportunity of a Job Mela for you. So wishing you all the best for that. And to start with, today in the first session, we will be discussing about CV writing. Now, you know what happens when I when I filter a number of CVs. So I find that many students write biodata on the top, some write CV, some write resume. So let's first understand that what you as freshers should be putting forth as the title, main title. See, biodata is not meant for students who are just out of the college. So don't write biodata over there. Biodata generally it's a very lengthy thing for people who got 15, 20 years of experience, and generally when you're applying to government jobs and all. So let's leave biodata out. Now in India, what happens generally, CV, that is curriculum vitae, and resume, they go as can be used interchangeably, though there is a difference. So CV gives a more detailed version of the resume. So, but yes, we can use it interchangeably here. That's fine. Now, before you start writing your CV, yes, penning down what you want to put in there, there's one thing that I want all of you to do. Can I have the next slide, please? I keep saying next. All right. Next. Yes. So that is, if you can see on the screen, that is statement of purpose. Now, this is meant for you. If you write a statement of purpose for yourself, the content that you put in the CV is going to be more logical, more pertinent to the job that you're applying for. Right. So this is something that most of the students fail to do. Most of the students will, pick some format from the net and start filling in directly. Don't do that. Yes, it will. You'll be very happy to have written an SOP for yourself. It will help you a lot in the interview too. Now, what happens in the SOP is that you will write down your life story in short, briefly, what you have done till now, the influences that you've had through your school life, college life, not just based on academics, but also your value system, your beliefs, the skills that you've developed along the way when you've taken up various activities. Now this will be covering as who you are. Then after that you can write, you can mention, think, contemplate and think as to what you want to do in life, where you want to reach, what are the kind of skills that you still want to acquire. So write about those things, write about career goals. So this is going to be a lengthy process. This will take some time, and this will take a lot of self-reflection. So you need to do that in order to write a good CV. Next, please. Right. So if you can see that these are the things that I want you to do when you are writing your statement of purpose. So that is the first step. And only after you've written down your statement of purpose, then you can pick various things from there. All the activities, you may have done a number of activities. Not everything will need to be put into the CV or resume. You will need to prioritize over there. Then you may club some of the activities together based on the skills that you've learned through them. Right. Now, influences in life. Now, these influences will not go on the CV for sure. Right. You will not be writing that you were highly influenced by your father or anybody else like that. So that will not go in there. But that is for yourself when you are there in the interview and you are answering questions related to various things. Goals and interests, also put them down. Why I say that? See, when you're applying for a job, let's say the job requires you to sit at a table for, say, 10 hours on a daily basis. Right? It's a desk job. You need to sit there and you need to work there. And in your CV, you've written your hobbies as, you're a very outdoors person and you like trekking and you like, mountaineering and rappelling and those things. So obviously, when I am a recruiter, so I will feel that, okay, this person fits the bill in all the other ways, academic ways, but then this person is going to be very soon bored with the job. And so do I want to invest so much of time and money in training this person when I know that this person may want to leave at the earliest? So there are various things that you need to consider. And that is the reason when I say that, look at your goals also in life. Don't just apply anywhere. Apply where, your interests lie, and you will continue and learn from that particular job. Right? Next, please. Right. So the objective of the resume or CV is to get you that interview. You will not get a job on the basis of the interview. You'll get a job on the basis of the interview, rather, not on the basis of the CV or resume. So this is just the first step. Now the vetting that is done by the organizations. Now this is done in two ways. Earlier, it used to be manually, the HR people would go through the resume and then decide that, okay, this is all right, this is not all right, we're going to call, shortlist these many persons for the interview. Now many organizations, they have a dual thing. Many times they do they use artificial intelligence, yes, and there are various application tracking systems. They use the ATS system to shortlist the CV first, and then only it is seen by the HR people. So that is something different from what used to be, say, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years back. So for that also, you need to be very particular that the resume or CV, whatever you write over there, is to the point, direct. You are not rambling over there, and you use the key skills and features that are required or that are stated in the job, so that your CV is then not thrown in the dustbin, but it is there for the HR person to go through it again. Right? On an average, very less time is spent by the HR person. So, you need to highlight your key features over there. Now, this is a selling tool for yourself. Right. So if I look at a CV and if I see the same, mundane words, and I can make out that, okay, last 20 CVs, people have been writing the same career objective. So they have picked this directly from the net. It is all right to go through certain CVs and, various things that are there on the net. It's very good to do that, but don't copy word to word. Whatever you write should be about yourself. So whatever you write, you own that. Remember that. So change according to yourself. Next, please. Yes, so it's a selling tool. It's like an advertisement window for yourself, right? So here I am, these are my skills, and this is how, I am suitable for this particular job. And since it's a job mail, I'll talk more about job and not otherwise, you can use the CV for applying to for higher studies also, but that's another thing, right? Your experiences, your skills are to be highlighted, all the internships that you do. So when you mention the internship, many times I see that students just mention interned at this particular place for 3 months, for 2 months, for 6 months. So don't leave it there. Also write, you cannot write, you cannot describe over here, but you can give the department in which you worked. If there was a project that was assigned to you, you can name that project. Right, so that will again brighten up your CV and make it more interesting also, right? Next. So this we've already discussed, CV versus biodata. You have to be brief, and you're at this stage, there is the job profile that is there. They give a very short description, right? And they don't want something very lengthy from you. Your resume/CV has to be only 1 page, 1 side. Remember, 1 page, 1 side, not more than that. So if there are many things that you want to convey, then you will need to cut down some of them. You'll need to see that, okay, this was something that I did way back in 8th standard, so I don't want it here. Yes, something that is something that is in the recent past should be there. And another thing, if you see customized, now customized, it means that if I am applying for 4 different jobs, I will not be putting in the same CV everywhere. So obviously the educational qualifications and other things are going to remain the same, but the skills that I highlight will be with respect to the job profile that I'm applying for, because customized in that manner. So this is again very important. What happens is that you make one CV, you're very happy with it, you've got it checked and all, and you keep pasting that CV everywhere, whether or not that particular skill that is required for that job is highlighted, or maybe it is not there at all, right? Another very important thing, you need to go through the spell check and the grammar part. If you don't do that, so if I find a CV which has got a number of grammatical mistakes or spelling errors, that means the candidate is not serious about this job. So if you were serious about the job, you will go through your CV, not once, but twice, but thrice, to see that everything is fine over there. Right, so that is also very important. Don't take it lightly, because many times when we are typing, suddenly some other word will come up and we won't even realize. You must have realized that while texting, right? So this has to be taken care of. Next. Yes. Now you have to be basic and to the point, and when you write down, make sure that you write in bullet points. When you write in bullet points, it is very easy for the other person to understand what is there. The person doesn't have to search and look around for key things over there. Strengths and weaknesses. Now people talk about strengths and weaknesses. The weaknesses are not going to be there on your CV, right? It's your strengths that you will be focusing on. All right, remember that. The strengths that you will be focusing on. They may ask you in the interview about your weaknesses. That's another thing. But it will not go on the CV, right? Your CV should not be childish, should not look immature. It should be professional looking, in the sense that, unless and until you are applying to for some content writer job in an advertisement agency, and also that's different. You can play around a little over there. So when I get CVs, many times I see a smiley at the end. No, absolutely no, right? No smileys, and no need to play around with colors. It's always safe to be to stick to black, right? Though many CVs at the international level also that I'm seeing is that they may use dark blue also, dark blue as for the subheadings and all. So that's okay, but don't go and experiment with orange and green and other colors. If in the Job Mela, or you have to present the CV in the physical form, make sure that for every organization, yes, you're giving a typed CV, a new one, and not a photostat. All right, so take care of that too. And it should look fresh. You want that job. The CV should also say that, right? The next one. Next, please. DK, are you there? All right, I'll continue. maybe he's not able to change. So now we come to the contents also of the CV. The contents at the top, you need to put your name there, and you need to put your contact details also over there. Now in the contact details, apart from your phone number, your email ID is very important, through which you will be, in touch with the organization. You may also give in your LinkedIn ID. I hope you do have that too. That's one professional platform which is very, very important. I've seen the importance during the pandemic time, where so many HR people, instead of advertising separately, they were putting in the LinkedIn platforms the requirement for various interns and all also. So I hope you're there and active also. Then after that, sometimes they ask for a picture. So if they ask for a picture, let it be a small one right at the top next to your name, right? No need to give your address as such. And then when you come down, ma'am, is it possible for someone to change the slide? Yeah, okay, look, keep it there. So when you come down, then comes your the other parts that are there, the personal statement that is there, the personal statement, career objective. There are various ways to name that part. So it needs to be something very short, 2-3 sentences, that's it, not beyond that, right? So what is it that you want to achieve in life, or in your career? Very short, very brief. All the explanations you will leave for the interview, right? Next, please. Yeah, here. Creativity can be shown in the order of the content, that's fine. I'll show you some CVs where, people have written across the page also. Some CVs where, they've divided the page into columns. So though that kind of creativity can be there, and that's all. That's fine, that's acceptable. And from the youngsters, I generally expect that. I'm happy to see that they're taking interest in their CVs. Some of the organizations will give a format themselves, and they will want your educational qualifications to be filled in that format. Some of them may want a semester-wise breakup of your results. So then you will have to stick to that. So that again comes in the customization part. But in case that is not asked for, yes, then you can put it in the tabular form or otherwise, right? Then experiences for you that has to be related to your internships and the activities, the clubs that you're a part of. There are so many clubs in DU where, where students are very, very active. And if you have not been a part of those clubs, yes, time to get into them. Yes, and do something there, right? So then those things will also be there. Awards and achievements. Not everyone will be getting awards. It does not matter, right? If you have participated in certain events, you may write that. Let's say you participated in a hackathon that was organized by KPMG or any other, organization for that matter. So write, participated in. If you organized something, write, organized so and so. It is not necessary that you need to have, a first or a second, award in that form. If it is there, well and good. If it is not there, then also participation needs to be highlighted. That shows that you are an initiative taker. Yes, you want to learn, you want to explore. So without meeting you, also the HR person knows that. Then the skill sets that you have acquired along the way. Yes, maybe you were a very good debater, maybe you're a good dancer, maybe you are a good presenter, master of ceremony, or you are a very good chess player, whatever. Now, if I'm a very good chess player, then obviously, I would have developed keen strategy making skills. Yes, in chess, you need to anticipate what the other person is going to, the next step is going to be, and then play accordingly also. So each of us has something unique, right? It may be something that, you are a very, you have got very good listening abilities. All your friends come and confide in you. They trust you with their secrets. They confide in you. So you're a good listener, which is also a very good team skill. The skills that, every job that you go for, most of the time you'll be working in teams, right? So your group skills, the way you communicate with others, all those things are going to be important and very good if they are highlighted in the CV. Voluntary work. During the pandemic, many youngsters have taken up voluntary work. That means I personally have, spoken to so many of them who were organizing or not even organizing, just giving information about about blood banks, about oxygen cylinders, so and so, right? So if you've done something like that, please include. If you have not done, do not do not fib. Never ever write something that is wrong, that is a lie in the CV. One lie gets caught, one small lie also, then the whole all the work, all the good work that you've done goes down the drain. No organization wants people who do not have a strong morals and ethics, strong belief system in that manner. So take care to be very honest with what you write. Extracurricular activities, interests, hobbies, yes. Now, it should not be that I don't have any interest, so let me write cooking. It's not like that. Ye kuch bhi likh do. Yeah. So once somebody wrote gardening, thinking that if I write gardening, so nobody's going to ask me many questions. And yes, there can be so many questions, not only related to types of fertilizers, which fertilizer for which plant for which season, right? So be very careful with what you write. That's why I always say be honest. Then you are not scared in the interview also, right? References is something that even as students you can put in. Let's say you had a project under one of your faculty members. Yes, you can ask that person and inform that you will be giving that person's name as reference, and you can put it there. Maybe when you interned somewhere under a manager, you can tell that person or ask whether the person's name can be given as a reference. So that is good. When you give references, what happens is that the HR person knows that, okay, this person is confident of his or her abilities and has no fear in giving references. Clear? All right, next please. So this evaluation, if you don't know what to write, what are the skills that you have, if you are on LinkedIn, you will see that they have made a list of certain skills where you need to type in your skills and others will endorse your skills. So you can take tips from there, right? Discuss with your group, with your teachers, with your family, the positive traits that you have, and then you can put it there, right? Now, when I say positive traits, it doesn't mean that you need to write that I'm a very friendly, outgoing person, not those things. Yes, the technical skills for sure, skills that match the job profile. That is what we want over there. And personality traits that show you to be a strong, ethical person who is a good team player also, who has ambitions, right? Whenever I speak to any HR person, I always keep asking, I get after that person, okay, what do you look for in a person? What is the basic criteria that you want from that person? And they say that there's a couple of common things that are there. One is that the person needs to be a good learner. So they're not only looking for, the toppers, they're looking for people who are willing to learn, who are not going to shy away from hard work, and who have some ambition in life. People who have got ambition in life are the ones who will try to explore more, learn more, and then, yes, rise up the ladder. So for that, initiative taker and all those things come into play. So keep that in mind. Next. Yeah. So these are the basic things that I have already listed. If you have done some additional training through any online courses that are there, many online platforms, learning platforms, right? So if you've done something from there, please put it in, right? It may not be related to the job profile. Let's say you're applying for some technical job and you have done something in digital marketing. Still, you put it there because that will show that, yes, here is a person who likes to explore and wants to know about other things too. And whatever decision this person is going to take is going to be an informed decision, and not just blindly following what the others are doing. So please mention, even if it was not a certificate course, sometimes there are 2 days, 3 days courses, go ahead and do them. Yes, and when you go through the courses, what happens is that at that moment you remember everything that was there. 6 months down the line when the interview is going on, you forget everything. So please make a note of whatever you have studied and learned during the course so that you can revise before your interview also. If you have attended conferences, which is quite possible, I have met so many DU students who have even presented papers in different conferences, right? So highlight those things then. You want your CV to look good in the sense that fit the bill as well as be slightly different from everybody else's, right? Okay, next. Now, when we come to formatting, I said one side, just one side, right? So it should not look cluttered, as if too many things have been just forced into onto the page. So many students, what they do is they make the font very small. If the font is very small, it's difficult to read, and that's cumbersome for the other person. So don't do that. There should be a proper margin all around, right? And the font size should be not very big, not too small. A 12-point font size is fine. Don't go in for any fancy type of style. Stick to the normal. Stick to the normal. You can put headings, subheadings, that's fine, right? Next, please. Yes, and one more thing. Bullet points I've already told you. Proofreaders we've talked about, that no spelling errors and grammatical errors should be there. If you're writing across the page, then everything needs to be left aligned. If you're going to submit the CV in the physical form, make sure that you're using good quality bond paper. White background is the best for you. People, when you go, I've seen senior people with a very light gray background also, but don't do that. You stick to white background. Do not try to put in any comic things or any funny faces and all, right? Please move. Education, yes. Latest one first. And if let's say you have been visiting the deaf and dumb school or the blind school for the last 3 years, so you can write that. Yes, if you have visited a place for just a weekend, so that is not an interest, so that is not voluntary work, and that will reflect badly in the interview then, right? That you went to a place for 2 days and then you're writing that, okay, this is the something that you did for society. So be careful in the wordings over there and what you put down, right? And yes, ma'am. Next, please. Next slide, please. Awards and honors we've talked about. Same thing goes for any professional training or the skills that you have gained. So what happens is that your network increases beyond just your peer group, right? You get in, other people, their contacts will also be reading whatever you're writing over there, and then you need to be a little careful. Sometimes the organizers may want to have a look at your Facebook profile or something. Yes. So yes, a little bit of prudence, my dears. I know, the young blood is there, but still a little bit of prudence now at this time is required, right? Okay. The next, please. Co-curricular activities. We've talked about this also. If there's something that you've done prior to college, let's say in your +2, yes, you can mention that also, but don't go, even earlier. I was the class monitor in the 5th standard and all, that is not going to do, right? But yes, if you were in the college, in the school team, football team, or you were heading the choir over there, you can mention that, just brief mention. That's it, to show them that the interest has been there right from the beginning, and you have been exploring your personality since that time, right? Next, please. Yeah. So even most of us are procrastinators, right? So if you mention over there that you have always completed your project and submitted it on time, so that is also a very good quality that I'm sure all the employers will be happy with, right? If the boss gives you a work and gives you that, okay, this needs to be done in the next 3 days, and you stretch it beyond the 3 days, so obviously that is not going to gel, right? So if you are very particular about meeting the deadlines, you can mention that. This is just an example that I'm giving you. Why? Because many times students say कुछ special नहीं है मैम लिखने के लिए. तो special है सबके पास. Think carefully. It may not be the exact words that you see on the net. Understood? But there are special things. You may have motivated the society. You may have collected funds for the college magazines, right? And maybe if you have collected funds that, last year it was only 20,000 and this year it is 3.5 lakhs. So mention that. The numbers are going to be, a good draw in the cover letter. Right? The next, please. Yes. So in the colleges also, there are various professional organizations, and as students, you are a part of them. If you are, then mention. And I keep telling you again and again that do not lie on the CV. Next. Yes. Now, obviously, technical skills need to be there, right? Apart from that, let's say I have learned German, Spanish, and French also. I can put that. I've learned sign language, anything different that I've learned. Maybe I've just learned how to play the guitar using, through the YouTube during the pandemic. So I can make good use of my time, right? So ma'am will be talking about time management. So those things will be covered there too. Now, the family background part need not be there. Earlier, what used to happen, 10, 15 years back, people used to write father's name, mother's name, right? This was during my time. I've got children your age. Father's name, mother's name, marital status. Now also I see sometimes that people are student ke isme kyun aa raha hai mujhe? Why have they written marital status over there? Marital status single. No, don't write anything. The family details are not required unless and until they have given you a form where they want you to fill those details, right? No requirement for them on the CV. Next, please. Yeah. Yes, I cannot stress enough on being honest and being ethical. Next. Yeah, cover letter part, I have covered. Otherwise, ma'am, do you have time? Can I take some more time?
Yeah, please carry on, please.
All right. So, as I said, that cover letter will need to be there along with the CV if you're mailing the CV to the organizer. Next. Yeah. So here again, cover letter is definitely more elaborate than the CV, but then still it needs to be simple. It should not be taking up too much time for the HR person to read, right? Tell them this basically to tell them that yes, you have applied for this and this is why you think you are suitable for this particular profile. And the numbers, as I said, that okay, 20,000 say 3.5 lakhs ho gaya or something like that. The numbers, put them in here because you can't put them on the CV there. So that catches the eye. So we call them sparks. When you something that just pops up, sparks like that, and they should be there then, right? Next. Cover letter, like any essay, will have an introduction, body, and end. But for you, as freshers, maybe just a single paragraph will do. Next, please. Yeah, here. And this is very important. As I told you that before you start with your CV, the SOP and the brainstorming for yourself is important. In the same manner, you need to plan ahead. You need to think that, okay, 5 years, 10 years down the line, what is it that I want to be doing? And in the process to reach there, what are the new skills that I would be needing? Yes, and work on acquiring those skills. That will help build your resume also. Next. Yes, CV haulers received. Just read them. I have an excellent track record, although I'm not a horse. What? I mean, you're not talking to a friend over there. This is something very professional. So don't take it in a casual manner. Don't write such stuff, right? And spelling errors, look at the second one, how the plague is turned to a plague, right? Yes, and believe me, career objective, till now also at least 3 out of 10 CVs will say career objective, CARRIER, because no spell check has been done, right? And beyond that, I don't even want to read the CV then beyond that, right? So careful with all of that. Next. Extracurricular activities. What can you do if you haven't done anything till now? Yes, for the future, please join clubs. All the colleges have got various activities and you're actually privileged to be in a university which gives you so many opportunities. So make use of all those opportunities. You may not be in leadership goals, but your participation will help you grow on a personal front and acquire various skills. So these are some things that you can do for yourself. Next. And then put them in the CV. So customize, highlight, and the sparks need to be there, right? Next, please. Yes, we've talked about the various social platforms. Next slide. Yes, networking. See, what happens when you give references? Yes, there's a certain kind of credibility that comes to your CV. And yes, a number of opportunities that you can explore through these networking sites. By that, I mean all the professional networking sites, right? Next. Expand your knowledge. Yes. Increase your marketability. Next, please. Next, sir. Here. So there's now Elon Musk. Now look, if he can write everything about himself on one side, yes, obviously this I've picked from the net, right, on one side. So you can do the same. Many times we participate in so many things and we don't know how to put them all in. So if he can do that, we can also do that. Let's have another one. You've heard of Marissa Mayer? Next, please. Yes, same thing. You're heading such a big organization, but everything on just one side. Now, see, in the Western world, it is the norm to put your picture also, but in India, we don't put the picture unless and until the organization asks for it. So avoid the picture, but the formatting need not be across the page. That is generally not done these days, and it's generally done in 2 columns, right? So with that will be all from my side. And I hope you build your resume, work on it, and present a good CV to the organizations.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm very sure that the students who are in their first years, who have recently started their professional journey, wherein they have to make a new CV or a resume, they will be very much beneficial. Also, with the students who have been writing the CV wrong, they would be improvising and stepping into the professional world with a better knowledge, with knowing how to actually present themselves. I can totally relate with the fact when you mentioned earlier that you look for look on the internet on a lot of CVs and you could not decide what exactly do you want to do for yourself. But later when you ask yourself that yes, this is my goal, and then you are able to proceed in a stepwise manner. So I really think that a lot of students would be able to relate to it and would learn from it. So thank you so much for your valuable views. And we really appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Shruti. I would have loved to stay on, but I have a class to take. And thank you, Hina ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So can we take questions of the students in the sense through email, which
Yes,
we can share with you subsequently?
Yes.
And yeah, your answer, I think that will add value to them, and that will guide them also.
Definitely, ma'am.
So Shruti, Ritika, and Simran, please collect the queries of the students from the chat box and just make a file and share it with ma'am. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Thank
ma'am.
you so
We'll
much,
do that.
ma'am. Thank you, and looking forward at the Job Mela also, because we are planning to organize many more such type of sessions, counseling sessions for the benefit of the students. So we will keep you contact.
The students are privileged.
Yeah. Thank
Right.
you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, and all the best to all the students here.
Thank you.
So do well and stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
May I now request Simran to please guide the students through the Job Mela application process, because a lot of students had a lot of queries, and then we can proceed further with the time management session. Simran, over to you.
Thanks, Shruti, and good afternoon, everyone. By the time we start with the next session, we now hope that you all can work on your CV templates. It was great to see your interest in the CV writing session, and hope it continues for the next session on time management as well. These skills play a very important role, and it reflects on a very polished self, and in one's approach, a very good take. And having said that, I'd like to talk about our Job Mela, which is presented by the Central Placement Cell under its Dean Students Welfare. That is scheduled to be conducted from 7th of April to 9th of April 2022. Yes, it is a 3-day fair, and this Job Mela is going to be your one step destination to companies across many sectors. With one of our aims to build a stepping stone in students' professional ladder. This Mela is going to be conducted in a blended mode of including both online and offline settings. To register, please do visit the Central Placement website as all the necessary information and the updates will be shared at the same place. Kindly note that the registration for placements is preceded by only one time fee of rupees 100. There will not be any additional charges or fees to companies in order to sit for their placements apart from this. While uploading your resumes, always remember not only always remember to upload in a very safe PDF format. And when it comes to carrying documents, it's always mandatory to have hold of your college ID, a receipt of payment for your registration, and your resume at a specified format. The eligibility for this job mela is practiced by the following fashion. The internship opportunities are open only for first years and the second year students. The job proposals are eligible only for the final year students from both undergrad and postgrad positions. I hope there isn't any ambiguity for the same, but even if so, remember that our team is all time present to assist you and help you in every possible way. And you can always connect or reach out to us via mail ID that is placement@du.ac.in. Having said that, I from what I can see, we can now move forward. So I request Ritika to come forward and take the lead for now.
Thank you, Simran. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our second esteemed guest for the day, Dr. Angela Kulsey. Dr. Angela Kulsey is associated with the Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi, India, in the capacity of Faculty Finance for the past 12 years. She has 20 years of teaching experience and is a PhD from the Delhi School of Economics. Department of Commerce, University of Delhi, in the area of international economies. She is also a fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, an autonomous statutory body under an Act of Government of India since 2003. She has also published 15 empirical and conceptual papers in ABDC and Scopus Index journals. She has also presented papers in various national and international conferences like World Finance Conferences, World Finance and Banking Symposium. She has also chaired various international conferences. Her papers have also figured in the top 10 papers of SSRN. The areas of her interests are financial economics, currency, financial and banking crisis, and valuation. She has done extensive work on corporate restructuring synergies and foreign flows. She has a rich experience in imparting management development program. She is also a content writer and a paper coordinator for MOOCs for a UGC project under the NMICT mission, MHRD, Government of India. She is also a member of the selection committee of the Overseas Scholarship Cell of the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. On the personal front, she has attended 3 Vipassana camps and is also a follower of Sudarshan Kriya and Yoga. We are immensely honored to be graced by the presence of such a talented personality. Angela ma'am shall take forward the session on time management, and we are very keen to hear her valuable insights on the same. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm muted. Yeah. Thank you, Ritika. Thank you very much. Those who are here, am I reasonably audible? Yes?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
fine.
yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
We are going to start with time management, and in this 1 hour I'm going to take a deep down into some very important aspect which is very core to my heart, and I think that today's generation must be sensitized towards that. Fine. So when we say time management, we really mean that time management and life management is the same thing, and whether it is your career, personal or academics, time management is very essential. Fine. The next slide please, where I have written time is money. Yes, time is money. Fine. If you can give any precious gift to anybody, give your time, be it your friends and be it your parents. That's very essential for today's generation. Fine. So the time management does not have the professional or the logical sequence, it has very much emotional sequence as well. Fine. Devoting time with your family. Now when I'm saying devoting time with your family doesn't mean that you are sitting in a dining table with your mobiles on and taking a dinner and your mother and father are just right to you. Time, emotional time management means that you are investing your time in your parents like your parents have invested time in you way back when you were really small. So the time management skill broadly includes what? Number one, all of you, I'm sure 50% of you are not doing this, but please do this. Maintain a diary. Fine. Rather than scrolling your mobiles each and every time, and particularly at the night when you are about to sleep, maintain a diary, write down your thoughts process into that. Fine. Write down first of important to do list, what you want to do, and what you want to do. Before that you should prioritize what are your goals. Now when I'm saying your goals should be short term, medium term and long term. All these three categories of goals should be there. Say for example, my friend's birthday weekend, a party. Good. Fine. Your medium term goal to crack at least 60% or 62% with understanding. I'm not saying marks minting score, understanding based scores, that is more important. Fine. So understanding based scores, how you are going to get that is also important. And say for example 3 years down the line you want to do your higher studies, and in which stream you want to do your higher studies, or if you are looking yourself in a job, in which job you are going to look. So this is your 3 years is a bit medium. Long term, extra long term goal you can also set. Fine. But it's too early to tell you that what are your extra long term goals, but your immediate goals, your short term goals, your medium term goals and your long term goals you should able to clearly distinguish in your head, so that you can, after that you should communicate. Now once you have set the goals, please communicate with your friends, with your parents. They will guide you, their experience will help you out whether you are moving in the right direction or not. Today's generation, it's very important that you spend time with your parents, because there is a lacuna of the vibes between the daughter and the son, between the daughter and the mother, and any parents combination you talked about. So talk to them, gain from their experience. I agree that the environment in which they have been brought up is different, and you are a tech savvy generation, the so-called next generation, they are different, but it's always wise to learn from others' experience. Fine. While it's wise to learn from your own experience, but it is wiser to learn from the experience of others. And when I'm saying others, believe me, your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, they will share their experience, and they will also share their failures with you with no hesitation. Your friend circle will not share your experience of failures with you. They will always share the positive experience which they have, but your parents will share the negative experience with you. So value that experience, and after that execute whatever you have already mentioned in your diary as your priorities, as your targets. Read your targets. I'm not saying on a daily basis, but at least on a weekly basis, read that. And very important take from this slide is to-do list.
prepare a to-do list, and that to-do list should not be purely logical. It should have emotional content into that. Next slide, please. Now, when our parents say something to us, we usually say we don't have time. Fine. It doesn't mean that we don't have time. When somebody says we don't have time, it really means that it is not on our priority list. Is it as simple as it is? Fine. If our friend says to do this, we says we don't have time. If your teachers or mentors say submit this assignment on time, you don't submit it, it means that is not on your priority list. You don't have time is simply an excuse of the explanation of not doing that task. Fine. So don't say that you don't have time. It simply says that this is not on my priority list, so I'm not doing that. So be brave in saying that, and you will realize that the more you say this, that you are not on my priority list, you have to then narrow it down that what is on your priority list then. Time management is simply right choices. Nowadays, to you guys, even to my generation also, there are lots of options available. And here I have listed down those options. Frankly speaking, some of the logos even I don't know, because I'm not that much into this social media. I recognize this Facebook, I recognize this WhatsApp group, Google. Rest you people can better judge what these all logos stand for. Instagram, LinkedIn and stuff like that. LinkedIn, it still makes some sense because it's a professional platform. Otherwise, you people have lots of choices. Now, how your life will move personally and professionally both depends upon your choices. You have lots of things to do, but the point is, what is the right choice you have to make? You have to take your fingertip and continuously tapping on your mobile each and every time you have posted what is the comment you have received and stuff like that. If you are devoting your time always on this, that is again your time. Remember one thing, that wrong choices means time mismanagement. And please remember one thing, in first of my slide I have written one thing, and that one thing is time management is nothing but life management. And if there is time mismanagement, meaning thereby that it's life mismanagement. So don't mismanage your life. Time management is life management. You know, all of you, that there is only one life. So just prioritize your things. First, narrow it down in your diary what you want to do. 6 months down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, and then talk to your friends, talk to your parents, particularly talk to your uncles, talk to your grandparents, that how you can move around that. Talk to your teachers, fine, that how you can accomplish that medium to long term goals once you have set the priorities. Let me read this quote. Life is all about making choices. For you guys, choices here means going to various social sites. Always do your best to make the right ones, and always do your best to learn from the wrong ones. The moment you realize that this choice is wrong one, the better it is for you guys, so that you can utilize your time in a most effective way. Next slide, please. This point I have already told you, time management is not just logical. Now there are various theories of time management. I'm not getting into that jargons. In 50s and 60s, the time management is basically talking about your high productivity, high efficiency. So a human being is working like a machine. Fine. Now you have technology to replace that, but we are still like a machine. Let me correct your thought process. If you think that the technology has break down this particular aspect, we are more slave to the technology rather than in the eras of 50s and 60s. In the eras of 15 and 60s, the time management concept was basically that to-do list. Fine. To-do list is important for you people. You are still students. You should know when to study, when to play, when is the hobby time, when you have to spend time with your friends, families and stuff like that. It's in the early 1990s when Stephen Covey, famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. followed by the 8th habit of highly effective people. But out of these two books, the first book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, was really impressive, and it has changed the perspective of how to look at the time management perspective. Fine. So let me read this. The time management is not all about increasing productivity or efficiency. It is 1950s and 1960s era, basically an industrial era. For students, it is still important. You have to manage how much you have to study from the exams perspective, from the marks perspective, because you have to take the admissions. So you can't ignore that. Fine. You people can't ignore that. To do list, even person at my age, I'm 50 years old, even I can't ignore that to do list. I can't ignore that. Fine. I have 2 small kids at home. I have my challenging and demanding job. I have my home to look after. I have put my all the females have put their hard-earned money in building up the house. So that also a great job to do. So to do list is very important. Fine. But it has its own limits. Fine. To do list, when you are writing in your to do list, you should also evaluate your capabilities, whether you can achieve that or not. If you are not able to achieve that, that leads to stress. I'm not touching that aspect at all, but one line only: to do list should be as practical as you can achieve conveniently. Fine. Stephen Covey's approach to time management is to create time to focus on important things before they become urgent. Basically, it's talking about prioritizing the task. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. You have to study for the exams, you have to prepare for your interviews that you have written at the last in the 10-pointer does not make sense. That should be your priority. Fine. Your parents are not well, you looking after them should be your first priorities. Fine. Before it's too late. Next slide, please. Now, Stephen Covey continue with this. It says urgent, important, and significance. Urgent gives you the answer is how soon does it matter. Fine. Important is how much does it matter. And significance is how long does it matter. And it is this aspect of the argument, that how long does it matter, is most important, and this should be your main focus when you are prioritizing and you are writing your to-do list. How soon does it matter? It means it's urgent. Fine. Ritika has to introduce me. It's very urgent, so she has to read my short resume. Fine. I was asked to mail my short resume. So it's an important, it's urgent. I have to do it at that point of time. Yesterday itself before 12 o'clock. So that is urgent. But that is not significance. Understand the difference. Fine. That is not significance. Importance, how much does it matter? When I'm preparing the PPTs for you guys, I have tried to take out lots of jargons out from my PPTs, because I want to create the sense that it is an important task to understand you. And significance over here is that whatever I say you keep it in your mind for a longer period of time. If I fulfill that objective, that is significance. Fine. I'm not saying that the significance is more important than urgent, or the important is more important than urgent. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying it that when you are prioritizing, you should know that what is urgent, you should know what is significance. Fine. In your own personal domain, have a look on this aspect, that what is significant. Now, what is significant? Significant is that it is going to give you fruits for the long term. That's why please link this argument with the argument which I have started my initial slides, that you should list down what you want to do immediately, medium term, and long term, so that you can write it down, you can spread out your time accordingly on the activities. Significance, how long does it matter, is the most important. It leads to growth and success in the long run. Now, how growth can be achieved? There are different versions of growth. I'm not talking about GDP. Fine, although it's very important, but right now I'm not into GDP growth. I'm talking about the growth of you as an individual. As an individual doesn't mean only professionally. Individual means as profession, as professionally, and also as a person. As a person with society, I'm not talking about. As a person means you as a family, how you perceive your family, how much value you give to your family. Fine, that is also a growth aspect. Now here, remember one point, and I think that you guys are little bit young, but this is the right age for you guys to understand this. Whatever makes you comfortable will ruin you. So growth comes whenever you are not comfortable. If you are comfortable waking up at 10 o'clock in the night, if you are comfortable sleeping at 1 in the night, that comfort zone will ruin your growth. Whatever makes you uncomfortable, fine. If you have to really grow, you have to come out from your comfort zone. Fine. So discomfort may be. Now how this discomfort can be created? This discomfort can be forced upon you. Fine. By an institution. The discomfort can be forced upon you by an institution, but that have a short-term duration. The discomfort can come, someone can help you out. Your parents can give you that discomfort. Your teachers can give you that discomfort. Your society can give you that discomfort. That come out of that discomfort. And the third, which is more important, which ultimately leads to significance and long term, that discomfort, you are coming out of your discomfort, or you are going into your discomfort, rather you are coming out of your comfort zone when it is self triggered. You have to self introspect yourself, and you have to self trigger yourself that you have to come out of your comfort zone. Fine. There is one important terminology which I think that you people should understand. Grit. What grit is? Grit is basically the power of passion and perseverance is important to achieve success, and it has nothing to do with your talent and skills. It is related to your growth mindset, and growth mindset, first let me explain this. It is unrelated to your talent. Believe me, I as a person, I am not a very sharp minded person, very sharp. I have a decent mind, but the only thing that I am able to achieve success in my life with the grace of my God and my parent is that perseverance and the passion. I know lots of people, those who are very talented than me. I was never a university topper. I know people, those who are university toppers of my batchmate. I know those who are school topper of my batchmate. But professionally, if you are talking about, with God grace, I'm much ahead of those people. Why? Because of this perseverance, continuous approach, continuous doing the things. So this ultimately leads to great success. And there is no correlation between this concept and your talent and your skill set. Talent and skill set will not give you anything if you are not consistent in whatever right you are doing. Fine. So it is related to growth mindset. Growth mindset basically means that you are paying emphasis on the process rather than on the orders. You have been ordered to do things. One small example. Fine. Three of you have been ordered by your teacher to go and collect the short resume of the respective speaker. This is ordered. What could if you people have approached us and we have given your resume? What if we ask you that go and hunt about ourselves and frame the short resume? That is the process. Fine. Understand the difference between taking the order and the process. Fine. I'm just trying to give you, there is nothing wrong in asking about short resume, but right now this is the only example which came into my mind and I have shared it with you. Fine. It can go in any way. The other thing in time management which is very important is say no. You must be saying no at lots of time, but at lots of time to your friends you are saying yes. And if you are saying yes to them and not saying no to them, if you really want to say no, it means you are saying no to certain important tasks. Don't do that. Fine. So the takeaway of this slide is, you please devote your time what is urgent and what is significant. Fine, forget about the important one in between. That I have written because the Stephen Covey is writing it like this. But pay attention on what is urgent. Obviously, that is important, and significance, which is going to give you the fruits in the long run. And for that, it's very essential that you should come out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone, so long as you live in your comfort zone, you will not get the success. Next slide, please. Now, coming back to these logos. Fine. Professor Hina, I personally think that today's generation, since all these are college graduates, I personally think that it's very essential to criticize their time which they are spending on social media.
Yeah.
This is directly related to time management. This is directly related to time management. Coming back to
Fully agree with you, ma'am.
These logos. Fine. Now, if I talk to some young guys, okay, why all the time you are on Facebook or Twitter and stuff like that, Instagrams? So one very common answer which we get is, we are tech savvy. You know that? Okay, you are tech savvy. I am not. At the age of 45, I have learned how to operate the software data. Fine, we all learned. Fine, we operate new softwares like Grittle, like R. So we are not tech savvy, but your generation is very much tech savvy. So that's why you are always on your Facebook accounts or Twitters. Fine. The second major, it is an entertainment. I still not understand that what kind of entertainment you are getting. Your mobile in front of you, your fingers on the keyboard. Is this a definition of entertainment? And if this is a definition of entertainment, you really have to go back to Oxford Dictionary to find out that what is the definition of entertainment. Fine. This is no way a definition of entertainment. Fine. Now, these all things are very addictive in nature. Fine. Each and every time we have to see, we have to look into that. If we have clicked one picture, we have to immediately see that what are the comments on that pictures. Fine. The mobile is in your hands. After every 10 or 15 minutes, you have to see that what is the status, how many likes you have received, how much responses you have get on whatever you have posted. So it is addictive. Majority of the science students, those who are listening to me, they will agree with me that the technology or the software which are used to play in casino, these all online social platform uses the same technology to addict you. You go to any particular argument in Google, you search any argument in Google. Next time when you open, you will find 5 arguments of the same time, although you have not typed it. Fine. This I have observed in my research domain. If I have asked the answer that XYZ, how it has to be done, say for example, dummy variable, when I should apply, I have searched that. Next time when I open the mobile, Google, laptop, the Google will give me 5 or 6 answers to that without even asking me. So what they are doing, they are using the software at the back end, that this particular lady is using the Google platform for its studies. So give her that information, feed her with that information. That is also wrong. I need only limited information. I don't need an unnecessarily Pindara box. Fine. Understand the difference. Gathering information and gathering knowledge are two separate aspects. Gathering information is that you have lots and lots of books, but you have not studied them. Gathering knowledge is that you have 2 books and you have studied that. So out of these two, knowledge is more important. Collecting of the information is not leading you anywhere, but collecting of the information is wasting your time. Understand this. Fine. So when I'm saying it's very addictive, it's like a drug. You don't know that you have been drugged. Fine. At the time of 80s and 90s, even the Indian economy and the world, we are very much puzzled about the drugs. Find how to handle those things. Now there is no need to give drugs. You force a youngsters to open an account in any of these three, they will be addicted. Fine. And they will be not using their time in a productive way. The main drawback of all these things is it is the fragmented attention time span. And when I'm saying fragmented attention, automatically it reduces your ability to concentrate. And the moment it pulls down your ability to concentrate means that it hampers your growth path. Although you have written in your diary your medium to long term growth, but if you are trapped into all these things, please make sure that you will not be able to concentrate, and hence your growth, your memory got adversely affected, which in extreme case, I'm not scaring you, but in extreme case it may leads to an anxiety or depression level. Fine. So this time management, you have to put the audit on your this particular aspect, that how much time you are going to spend on this. Now I'm not saying that we can't take away all these stuffs, but I will just give you 2 points that what we can do. Next slide please. The biggest drawback of all these logos which I have just shown you is what? Internal monologue. Just go and search the meaning of this internal monologue. In Hindi, it means अपने आप से बातें करना. We are talking to our own self. We should listen to our internal things, internal feelings, but talking to our own self, we know who does that. Those who are mentally sick. Fine? It is an internal monologue. I have posted something, I am assuming that somebody will like. If somebody has not liked, why it has not liked? It's very easy. You press the button of dislike. If there are 10 dislikes, then why dislike? Then keep on saying to you, your motivation level goes down. Why? These things shouldn't matter to you. First of all, you should not be into that. Internal monologue, it adversely affects your personality, profession, and academics. The so-called likes button, the thumbs up button, these are what? These are basically your social currency nowadays to you generations. They add values to your life. Fine, we have achieved this much of likes, so you are very happy on that day. What happens if you don't achieve that much of likes? So the day is bad. That definition of like should not be there. That should not disturb you that much. Now understand, these social likes is nothing but the social currency, and what they are doing, you are the product for others. So you are doing what? You are selling yourself to the others, and selling is a very tough task. Each one of us can't sell ourselves. Fine, there are different domains. There is a finance domains, HR domains, but when you are very regular with your online portals, it means that you are selling yourself. You are a product, and that values matters to you. That likes and dislikes matters to you. And in that process, what is happening? Continuous basis, if that is happening, you are moving away from yourself, and you are the byproduct of what other people are thinking. You don't know what you are. You have shaped your personality what other people are thinking about you. Fine. Online harassment, I'm not going to take up that aspect. One particular aspect, confidence level at today's level, selfie with no filters. Fine, we have clicked the snap, we have not attached any filter to that, so it means we are confident of whatever looks we are having. A million likes will never be enough if you don't like yourself. And understand, on Facebook or on any site, in whatever way where you young people are going, all of you are reporting your positive sides. You are not reporting your negative sides. Fine. And understand, to grow, again same argument, to grow, each and every emotion is important. Fine. So again, humble request, keep your time management efficient. And the biggest point in time management is these are the weapons of mass destruction. If the young population, all of you are aware of this fact that India is known in the world for exploiting the demographic dividends. Fine, we have the young population, but that young population is not needed if it is not productive. Fine, a humble urge to the so-called young population that you should prove yourself as an asset, not as a liability. You should be productive in every respect, whether it is your job, whether it is your academics, or whether it is maintaining your relationship with your parents. You should be productive in all these. The older generation can't afford the unproductive efforts of the future generations. I'm repeating this argument. The older generation, the age domain in which I am and Professor Hina is there, or the dean's head is there, we can't afford to have the young generation which is unproductive, which is not utilizing its time effectively. In that case, you people will be burden for us. So don't be burden for us, don't be liability for us, be an asset for us. Let us be proud of these things, that we have the young generation which is productive, which is sensible, which is utilizing its time effectively. Fine. Now, I'm not saying to you that you should not have any of these things. It's practically impossible. Frankly speaking, it's impossible. Fine. So I'm not talking about something impossible. First of all, it's very important for you to understand the dark side of it. The second aspect is audit your social media time diet. Limit yourself that you are going to look the accounts at this time, say 6 to 7, or maybe before dinner, or any time, or in the afternoon. But each and every time on your mobile and seeing at what is the comment I have got, what I should write, who have written what, there is no need of that. There is no need of that. Every time, don't be, understand that if you are doing this, you are addictive to that. Fine. Our parents are earning less money with less efforts, but what I am observing, that at that time they were much happier as a family unit. We are earning much more than our parents. We have much more comforts than our parents. We hardly do any household chores, but still we are not happy as a family unit. And the biggest reason for this is our kids don't listen to us when we ask them to be away from mobile, or from laptop, or from tab. Fine. Listen to your mother, listen to your father when they are saying you that please keep your mobile, give rest to your mobile. And the best thing is, please switch off your mobile in the night. It is not required. It is really not required. Anything which is creating chaos in your environment is not required. Understand this particular, the weapons of mass destructions. Frankly speaking, Professor Hina, I have taken about the lots of jargons from this slide, because the target audience are not the people, those who are working in corporate sector. Fine, their approach of time management should be different. I have really spent lots of time in arranging these photographs.
So it looks beautiful, ma'am.
So fine, even though my words does not touch to your mind, these snaps should be retained in your subconscious mind.
I think everyone must be enthralled, must be listening to you with positive energy. Yeah, ma'am.
Fine. Time is the most valuable coin in your life. You and you alone will determine how that coin will be spent. Don't allow somebody else to spend it for you. Somebody else means what? These weapons. They are spending time for you. Fine. Be careful that No, do not let other people spend it for you. So do it yourself, spend your time yourself and spend it wisely. Last slide, I think that is going to be the last one. This is the last one. Yes, Shruti. Yes, this is the last one. Thank you very much. Say goodbye to your accounts. Although I have written it, I know it's not possible. Don't say goodbye, but limit your time. Limit your time each and every time. You need not to go. For you people, the time management is simply get away from these social medias. If you get away from these social media, your time management will automatically come. And why also the social media? You should be away from the media. Listen the news channel at the night, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, whatever it is. After every 1 hour, there is not going to be a change in any news items. At our time, we used to listen news 8:40 to 9 o'clock, 9:10 to 9:30. That's it. So we have gained knowledge. So away from 24 hours, even media, news channels. Fine. I'm not saying social media, even the media also. You need not to keep yourself minute to minute updates of what is happening in Ukraine and US war. At the end of the day, if you get sufficient information, that's okay for you. Remember the names for your interviews process. That's it. Fine. Clear? God bless you all. You should learn how to manage your time effectively. Pointers, once again, I'm repeating, to-do list. What you want to do immediately, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. And in that to-do list, do not forget that 10 years down the line, you have to look after your parents. Fine. It should not be that to-do list you have to fly away to Canada or the UK. Fly away, but take care, make everything set for your parents in your own homeland, and then fly away. No issues. To-do list. And second aspect, be away from your social media. That's it. If you follow these two aspects, time management capsule is you have already taken. I am not giving you any more jargons. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable guidance and ideas on time management. Everyone who has attended this session has been overjoyed to hear your kind words. Time management is definitely one of the most sought after skills in every sector we enter. As ma'am very rightly mentioned, the most precious gift you can give someone is your time. The clear demarcation between urgent, important, and significant tasks is a great way to manage time, and I assume any person and every participant who has joined us today will resort to this way of thinking after this session. The emphasis on feeling confident in oneself is an important attribute that most of us might have left behind. I now request Professor Gurpreet Singh Tuteja to give the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, Professor Pankaj Arora, Deputy Deans Hina Singh, Sangeeta Gadre, Hemant Ji, my colleagues from different colleges, aspiring students also from different colleges. I hope that you all must have heard from Tarannum Raza and Dr. Angela Kulsey from FMS. The sessions were not only useful for job aspirants, but I think it is useful for any professional. I must again reiterate that we have received offers from more than 40 companies, and we hope that you are going to prepare your CVs soon and manage the time, because when you are going to handle 40 companies, you may get a chance to see at least 4 or 5. I will request Dr. Hina to allow them for 4 or 5 companies. So you have to manage your time. And as Madam said that time management, I was also listening to her that many of the things which I also now I'm realizing this the way I was handling my time was not the right one. Now I will be able to optimize it. The entire show is managed by these student volunteers. The volunteers are actually ambassadors. They include Shruti Goel, Ritika Prasad, Simran Sehgal, and many others who are working behind the scenes. Believe me, they have prepared right from planning the program to making the posters, right from posters to planning the program. I must say, I am grateful to Professor Pankaj Arora for his constant support throughout preparation of this program. His enthusiasm raises our energy to work better to make our Job Mela successful. My gratitude to the Deputy Dean, Hina Singh, who works diligently at micro level, and Dr. Sangeeta and Hemant, who are helping us every time and any time. Dr. Dheeraj Kumar Singh from Zakir Hussain College, who is managing this IT support, giving IT support, needs a special mention here. From the Office of Dean Students Welfare, Mr. Raheja and Mr. Tarun are managing all logistic and administrative support. Last but not least, my special thanks to all my colleagues and teachers for making this program successful by not only attending it, but I think you will be using the tips given to you in this program. Let me tell you something more about the program which we are going to have it on 7th to 9th. A Job Mela is being organized by Dean Student Welfare Office under the, I must say, organized by the Central Placement Cell under the aegis of Dean Student Welfare Office. See, this will be organized in hybrid mode, and still till now I am receiving many calls that how to register it, where to go, where to log on. So let me tell you, the website is placement.du.ac.in. You can log on to the website. You'll find FAQs are placed in the ticker. You can download it, and you can find direct links for the student registration. This registration is valid for the entire academic year, which means that if you register and even after the Job Mela, we get, we do some special drives, you can possibly participate in that. This, once you register it, you may have to pay a certain amount for placement, but internship is free. So all those who are in second year, first year and second year, they can register free, but for placement they have to pay. We will float another form by next week to get preferences for different companies. As I said, we are getting offers from more than 40 companies. So we will be taking your data on a Google form, and we will be sending it to the different companies so that they can arrange either online or offline process, whatever, we will let you know on the website. So the mantra is, you log on website placement.du.ac.in. Please ensure that you have properly registered yourself on the placement website. Then only you will be allowed to fill the Google form. Hope you will get your dream placement or internship by next month. With that, I close this. Thank you all and see you soon. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And thank you all the volunteers. And we are looking forward to have like similar type of response in future also.